Thank you.
Good evening, viewers. All my colleagues, very happy New Year, and hope you have a nice ending of 2023. At the onset, I would like to thank the organizers to give me this opportunity to be with you and discuss about the wheat blast disease and how to overcome it. So I had been the principal scientist and the principal investigator of crop protection program at one of the Institute of ICAR, Indian Council of Agriculture Research, which is Indian Institute of Wheat and Barley Research, Karnal. So I was associated with it. Later on, I served as a national consultant with the National Food Security Mission. Also, I served in UNDP as a specialist in Zambia and then as an ITech expert in Guyana. So moving towards wheat, why wheat is important and why wheat diseases are important. So you may know that wheat is very important food crop. It's important for the food as well as for nutrition security. So wheat, rice, and pulses, they are the major source of calories in our food. We take an intake of about 26.3 grams per day on an average protein from the wheat, as well as the per capita per day gain of iron is 7.45, and likewise zinc and copper, manganese, zinc and copper also they are part of it. This zinc, so it is a major source of iron as well as zinc. And so then that's why we give a lot of importance for nutrition security as well as food security to wheat. As far as the wheat area is concerned, we are growing in a large area in all five agroecological zones, comprising 31.82 million hectares in 2022 and 23 data, and the average production was 112.74 million tons. Then an average productivity of the country was 35.43 quintal per hectare. As far as the wheat in northeastern states are concerned, it's an upcoming zone, and it is having hot and humid climate. And why it is important? Because we have almost saturated the land in northwestern plain zone. Central zone also we have gone up to a big way. So this is the upcoming zone, and we have a lot of fallow land after rice, which can go towards wheat. Why diseases are very important to the human being as well as for the animal beings, plant diseases especially. You might be knowing the Great Bengal famine, which was caused in 1943 by a disease called brown spot in rice. And there was a sudden shortage of the rice, and due to that, there was deaths of lakhs and lakhs of people in West Bengal. So what is wheat blast? Wheat blast is a disease of wheat. Wheat is having many diseases like rust, blights, then powdery mildew, loose spots. So this is comparatively new disease which was discovered recently in 1985 in Brazil. And initially it was a disease of rice, but now this pathogen has also gone as a mutant pathogen, which is called Magnopathe oryzae, triticum pathotype, in short MOT. So it can infect wheat also. It's a devastating fungal disease that can rapidly destroy wheat crop. That's why its name is blast. So far, it is not reported from India. It has a potential to reduce the wheat production up to the half, since it affects the ear head and leaving it unfilled with the grain. Already this is present in Bangladesh, which is a matter of concern. It arrived there in 2016, maybe from the Brazil, and our wheat in eastern state is vulnerable to it. And we share a border length of 4,000, more than 4,000 kilometers. And out of this, 2,217 kilometers is in West Bengal. So you can imagine what kind of risk we have. And both sides we grow wheat there. The pathogen can transmit through seed, air, and crop debris. So anything through any mean, it can come to India also and create problem by security. As I have already told, that wheat blast is a different fungus as compared to the rice blast. So its pathotype is different. It is called triticum. Initially, it was reported in 1985 in Brazil. Later on, it moved to many countries in South America. Also appeared in Bangladesh in 8 districts close to West Bengal border in February 2016. And recently, it has been reported from Zambia. So this is the map showing different countries which have been given the different color. They have all wheat blast in South America. So it is moving, you see, and how it is moving. Host jump from the local host, and then introduction, host jump from lolium, introduction and introduction. So this is how it is moving globally. See in the map also you can see it is in this continent also, in this continent also, and also in Asia now, South Asia. You may be wondering how it is traveling. So one way, maybe the seed which has been exported, maybe as a grain, and the farmers by mistake or knowingly, unknowingly, they have planted those thinking that it is of high liquid variety, and through that it transmitted in that crop and manifested there. So these are different districts in Bengal where the wheat blast has been reported. Initially, it was in 6 districts. Later on, it moved in different districts. And this is very close area. You know, this is the wheat growing area of India in West Bengal, and Murshidabad, Malda, all those districts, Nadia districts. They are very close, and we have almost porous borders. People used to move, day to day for day-to-day activities and go back. So you may be wondering what kind of symptoms this disease is producing. Anything which is coming on the ear head may be suspected as a wheat blast, but not all. In all cases, it can be wheat blast. It may be, see here it is wheat blast symptom. This is also wheat blast symptom, but here it is not wheat blast. It is fusarium blight because it is showing the pinkish color here. And this is due to the spot blast, which is caused by helminthosporium or bipolar sorokiniana. So this is also causing some sort of spike discoloration. But the characteristic feature here that whenever the spore falls on the growing ear head, say here, there is a necrosis of the rachis, and it is cutting the food and water supply on the upper part of the ear head. Thus, this ear head is not having seed, or if it's having seed, they are very severe and they are of not much use as a food. So this is how the blasted field or the wheat looks like. This picture has been taken from Brazil, and this is how it is infecting the rachis region. So this is the spike of partially or completely bleached in a short span of time. That's why it is called blast. It moves very fast. And it's an elliptical grays or to 10 necrotic lesions primarily formed on the leaves. But on leaves, it is not going beyond that. But the major damage is caused on ear head. Grains from the blasted infected ear heads were smaller, shriveled, deformed, and had low test weight. So this is how we get the harvest or even the no harvest. So these grains, if you put on the PDA medium, potato dextrose agar medium in laboratory and grow it for 12 days or so, they produce characteristic colony of the fungus. And if you see those under stereo binocular, you can see the sporophores with the spores. And even on the ear heads, if you hold mount and put cotton glue in it, you can see a lot of spores, full of spores. And these are peer safety spores, basically two septa or three-celled spores it produces. So this is the life cycle which was discovered by Rees et al. From Brazil. And you can see there are secondary hosts also here, and it can spread through wind also. This is the secondary cycle. So initially, if you see, this is the primary inoculum. On seed, it can survive for 6 to 7 months. That is well up to the next cropping season. So during storage, it can survive. So also it can grow as a saprophyte, and through wind it can also spread. So this is how the infection takes place, and it injured initially the leaves and later on goes to the earhead when earhead emerges, and then infect the seeds, and that's how the cycle goes. So these are some of the other plants from where the blast pathogen has been reported. These are Avena, Digitaria, Illucin, Hordium, Lercia, Lolium, Penicidum, Citeria, Triticum, Estivum, wheat, Eurocol, Cloa. And we have also isolated means we have also monitored these hosts in West Bengal, but we couldn't find anything affected due to the wheat blast pathogen. As far as the cross infection is concerned, it is going very little, or there is no cross infection. Maybe there is a specificity in the pathogen. So if you see the Magnoparthe origi, MO enormous pedicularia origi, this is the Orija pathotype which is infecting only rice. Its name is MO. Triticum pathotype is wheat. MOT Citeria is MOS. Lolium is MOS. So this is how the symptoms, the panicle blast occurs in the rice, in wheat also, Citeria also, and Lolium also. So this is how the pathotype host specificity is shown. Say different type of isolates, but they are not are infecting the wheat, but they are specific to particular host. So these are the different races which has been identified in case of MOT. These are early strains from the Brazil, and then these are the recent strains from Bolivia and Brazil. So they are different, and here the reaction was RRR, resistant, but they all turned susceptible to it, but they are still resistant. Here, all are susceptible to this race. So we need to breed continuously, look for the new genes to make to fight and to keep the race ahead of the pathogen in case of new wheat varieties. This is how we screen the wheat varieties. Initially, it is done based on the number of the infected ear heads per 1,000 ear heads, and also we go for another scale where we go 0% till 100%, means whole ear head is blighted. So they are dual type of scale is used for screening of the wheat variety against blast. This is how the host resistance is there in wheat, and this is the susceptible variety, but this is the somewhat tolerant. This is almost resistant variety. This is again a susceptible variety. So this is how we screen, and we inoculate either or do it in under nature condition and in hotspot location in Bolivia or maybe in Jashore in Bangladesh. So there we send from India, we send our wheat varieties through CIMIT, Mexico, and they help to screen our material because this is still not occurring in India. But we want to be very sure that whatever varieties we are releasing and breeding for its host resistance, we should have real resistance in the field. And this is a Milan genotype, which is having 2NS segment, which is providing resistance against this disease. And also it is linked with the LR, is leaf rust resistance gene 37, stem rust resistance gene 38, and yellow rust resistance gene 17, and also nematode resistance gene. So this particular portion of the chromosome is very important. So it is providing resistance to multiple diseases. And there are molecular markers available to detect awareness. These are the list of the resistant genes identified against various strains of the wheat blast fungus. See from RMG1 to going to RMG8. So this is the recent one, but most of the pathotypes, they are knocking these genes. So we have to sometimes do the gene pyramiding and also look for the new resistant genes to get real field resistance against wheat blast. Keeping in view of wheat blast occurrence in adjoining districts of Bangladesh to West Bengal, the first survey team was deputed from Indian Institute of Wheat and Barley, BCKVB, under my leadership on 4th February 2017 to survey the wheat diseases all along the Indo-Bangladesh bordering districts. Before this, during 2015-16, no wheat blast was reported in India. So this is how we made the route all along the Bangladesh border. So there were two teams, one coming from the North Bengal, one going from this Kalyani, and we surveyed the whole area. And also we continued at fortnightly interval and also once during the off season. This is how we surveyed. Also, we collaborated with the border security forces because this is very close to the Bangladesh border. Sometimes we have to go to the no man's area and see those river delta where people are still growing wheat, and we could see all the crop. But whatever sample we collected, we couldn't detect wheat blast there. This is a very unique situation there. The climate is suitable for wheat as well as for the rice. So simultaneously, we adjacent field we can have the wheat as well as the rice, and it's a hot and humid climate, which is very suitable for the wheat blast pathogen. These are the strategies I propose, and that looking the spread of the wheat blast in neighboring country, Bangladesh, we should be very vigilant, and there should be complete restriction of the import of the wheat seed grains from Bangladesh and from the Brazil and other countries where wheat blast is there. Treat the seed with the fungicides like Thiron, Carboxin, Carbendazim, and Tebuconazole. Plant resistant varieties such as SD296, SD2967, SD3171, DBW39, SD2043, which has been found resistant to the wheat blast in Bolivia and USA. In case of infection, spray crop with the fungicide trifloxystrobin 50% or tebuconazole 25% WG at the rate 120 gram per acre. During the year 2017-18 wheat holiday for the 2 years, later on it was again extended for 1 year, was declared in Murshidabad and Nadia district. And also similarly all along the Bangladesh border up to the 5 kilometer from the Indonesia border, there was a no wheat zone declared. Knowledge about the wheat disease was given to the extension worker, farmers and seed seller. No wheat blast has been detected from any state including West Bengal, during 1718 and later on. This is how the district level meetings were held in Murshidabad, where Agriculture Commissioner and Joint Secretary from DSC, Plant Protection, and also DC and BSF people were present, and all the Agriculture Department people were present. They were briefed about this issue. Yeah. Also, the plant quarantine regional office, Kolkata people were also briefed about it. And then there was a decision which was taken because we couldn't took any chance by any mean, if at all, during 1718, it might have come from Bangladesh through sea or through air. We proposed to burn those crops, which was showing any blighted or something like symptoms, blast-like symptoms. So it was burnt or it was buried in the soil. That's whatever harvest was there, it was built. It was not kept for the seed. And then the farmer was immediately compensated. All the money was transferred to his account through DBT mode. And the entire money was beared by Government of India. So this is how the new project started. And I was the principal investigator, amounting 1.02 crore for 3 years. And these were the partners, IIWBR, Vidhan Chandra Krishi Vishwavidyalaya, Uttar Banga Krishi Vishwavidyalaya, IRI, and Assam Agriculture University. So it was on surveillance of wheat blast caused by Magnoparty Orazi triticum, and it's research to manage it. So then there was simultaneously another project which was given to the state government department to diversify. Once you say that there should not be any wheat in the two districts and all along the Indo-Bangladesh border, so what farmers, they were asking alternatives. So we gave pulses and oilseed seed free, as well as some subsidy on farm inputs. Also, we given the dal mill to them, and we ensured that they get wheat also from the public distribution system. So a special quota of wheat was given to them. Wheat flour was given to them. So that's how we could manage to diversify this wheat based system there, and it was replaced with non-host crops to wheat rollers like pulses and oilseeds. This is how again the simultaneously the work in other districts went to produce to demonstrate the resistant varieties like 2967, which was showing resistant to the wheat blast. So wherever in other districts of the Bengal or in the eastern region, in Uttarakhand, this Jharkhand and Bihar and eastern UP, so we were trying to replace the old varieties with the new resistant varieties there. Again, we sent, as I already told, number of the lines. Initially, there were 80 lines which were sent, and out of these, 35 were found having 2NS, and they were better than Bangladeshi and Nepalese varieties in that respect. This is how the seed behaved, Indian wheat varieties behaved against wheat blast in Bolivia under natural conditions. So this 2NS PCR, it was positive in these, and they were also resistant, found resistant. Whereas those which were negative, they were somehow susceptible. This is the susceptible check. Again, the wheat was also sent to containment facility to USA, and they use the PCR and LICAR technique to look for the 2NS segment and also some linked genes, and they could also confirm that whatever resistance was found in the field, it was true under containment facility also in USA. These are some new varieties because simultaneously the work also started to breed for resistance, and these were over time. These were the varieties DBW 187, HD 3249, HD 2967. They were released for irrigated and timely soil condition in India, and DBW 252 and HD 3171 for restricted irrigation and timely soil conditions. Among all, SD 2967 is a popular variety of northwestern and northeastern plain zone, and 187 is also for northeastern plain zone. Simultaneously, there were regional meetings which were called by the summit, comprising Bangladesh, Nepal, and other countries, India. So they also encouraged to grow resistant varieties, and they also released Bari Gom 33 and WMRI Gom 3. These were resistant to blast. So they are growing these there. In Nepal also, the Borlog 2020, and in Bolivia also 2 varieties were released, which were resistant to wheat blast. Likewise, work was also started in capacity building, and there were 16 days trainings were given to the Indian scientists, supported by CIMET, USDA, and ACIAR, and BARC, DA, and relevant departments were also involved in surveillance program. About 40 Indian scientists from Bangladesh, India, and Nepal participated in this training. Also, they were sent to Bolivia for training, also to USA, and 10 scientists from 4 wheat growing countries of the world, including India, Nepal, participated in this training. The objective of this is to develop a comprehensive overview of the wheat blast disease and well-versed with innovative techniques, information, and skills to effectively address wheat blast in the region. Again, there was a program to produce the healthy seed of the wheat, although new varieties, and these were conducted in those West Bengal, Bihar, and other Eastern UP states with the help of the SUs and state agriculture department. Also, we sensitized publishing the articles, and these were the extensive articles published in Kheti. This is the way forward for biosecurity of the wheat I am proposing. There is a need to keep strict vigil on occurrence and movement of the disease. Strong and continuous collaboration with CGIAR labs involved in wheat blast research and field evaluation, germplasm identification, breeding for resistance, replacement of old varieties of blast resistant with the blast resistant varieties. Crop diversification should continue. No wheat along Indo-Bangladesh border up to the 5 kilometers should continue. No import of the wheat or germplasm in the countries having wheat blast. Capacity building, strategic meeting, contingency plans to meet any emergency situation. So, if we keep these going, I think our wheat would be safe from this disease. At the end, I must acknowledge the support and the efforts and the funds which were given by ICR to Indian Institute of Wheat and Barley Research, BCKVP, IRI, BKVP, AAU, DAC, and FW, CIMET, and Government of West Bengal Agriculture Department, various sources of scientific research from where I took the material for this talk. Thank you very much for patience listening, and I would be pleased to take up your questions or whatever doubts you have. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir, for a wonderful presentation. I will take up the questions from the participants now. In the meantime, can you please stop sharing the screen, sir, so that we can see your full video?
Yes. Okay.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. I'll move on to the questions now.
Yes.
What environmental conditions favor the development and spread of wheat blast diseases?
It is hot and humid climate, maybe temperature around 26 degree and humidity about 90 to 95%.
Okay. Are there any specific regions or countries more susceptible to wheat blast outbreaks?
Yeah, because nowadays a lot of international trade is going on, and some countries they are rice eating, but they also turning to eat wheat, especially for the bread and especially for the breakfast. They started eating wheat, and they have the scarcity of the wheat, so they want to purchase the cheap wheat sometimes. And this cheap wheat is also the wheat which sometimes discolored, sometimes infected wheat. And it is coming sometimes from Brazil or from the Argentina or from those countries where the wheat blast is there. So sometimes people from Bangladesh, they cross with the sea coming to India for grinding purpose, flour grinding. And sometimes they leave that seed to their relatives. They have a relative from at both ends of the border. So that's how there is a great risk, because otherwise how it is transmitted from Brazil to Bangladesh? Maybe through the seed. There is no other way. Also, since it is a fungus and it can be dispersed up to say 1,000 meter by wind. So again, if it is established again, coming another 1,000 meter, and it can survive up to six to 8 months in the storage or during in the environment. So it is causing a risk if it is occurring in that hot and humid climate countries, and maybe it may spread to our main wheat bowl in northwestern plain zone, because there also the temperature goes up during the after the mid February to the March or April, and that is the time when the earhead emerges, and it can create havoc there also, or it may develop some pathotypes or races which can survive at lower temperature also. So there is a risk of biosecurity.
Okay.
Yeah.
What are the challenges in developing wheat varieties resistant to wheat blast?
We don't have the wheat blast here, so directly we cannot look. Sorry, our material, whether it is resistant or susceptible in the field, but we have to depend to the countries where the wheat blast is there, and either through bilateral programs or through international programs. So we have to go to that channel. So again, it takes more than 2 years or so to confirm. And once we get the results, we can start breeding. But it takes about eight years or so to develop a new wheat variety. And till then, we have a dearth of the resistance in our wheat to wheat blast. So India should be very vigilant, and they should not allow this pathogen to enter in India.
Okay. What role do cultural practices play in managing wheat blast disease?
Cultural practices means we have to keep the fields free from the weeds. Also, we have to use the crop rotation. Sometimes we can do the mixed cropping or put some non-host crops on the border of the wheat, as well as look the climate which is drier, for growing wheat. These are some cultural practices deploying during the summer. These are some cultural practices which can minimize the occurrence of the wheat blast.
Okay. I'll move on to the next question, sir. Could you explain the potential benefits and limitations of using fungicides to control wheat blast?
As I have said, the disease is coming initially on the leaves. So if somebody is detecting the wheat blast on the leaves, it means there are great chances that it can affect the ear heads also. Once it is coming on the ear heads, after the drop of the conidia on the ear head, it takes around a week time to dry, to make it dry. And that's why we should be very fast, especially when there is a drizzling of the water, there is a little rain or the good dew is there, and there is a good temperature, favorable temperature. So before even coming this disease on the ear head, we should have a protective spray of the fungicide. Or soon after the initial initiation of the disease, initial appearance of the symptoms, we should spray the crop. Otherwise, there won't be any time left to save the crop. Once it is infected, it is very difficult to cure it, and that ear head would remain sterile.
Okay.
But then there are some certain problems, because at the time of ear head, farmers they are hesitant to go inside the wheat field because there is a damage on the ear head sometimes, and also it is not easy to spray. So also there are environmental concerns because we don't want to pollute. Also, there may be some residual issues in the wheat for the pesticides. So we should be very particular of using the correct dose in that correct time.
Okay. What measures can farmers take to detect wheat blast early in their crops?
As I already said that they have to go for the healthy seeds for planting. If they are using their own seeds, then they should treat it with the fungicides I mentioned, so that they cure the seed-borne infection in it. Also, they ensure the seed or seedling from the infection which is coming through the crop residue, previous crop residue, or the soil. Also, they should go for strict monitoring of the crop, scouting of the crop. If they see any blighted symptoms on the leaves, they should spray and control that this is there itself. Look for the weather reports, the weather forecast. If there are rains are predicted at the earhead emergence or at boot leaf stage, surely there would be chances of the wheat blast, so they should try to spray it beforehand, and also give second spray if they see some wheat blast symptoms on the earhead.
Okay. Are there resistant wheat varieties available?
I have already mentioned there are few wheat varieties which are available nowadays, like LBW 187, HD 2967, like those. And also we are making sure that 2NS segment should come in varieties, future wheat varieties, which are we are intending to release in that particular agroecological zone, which is northeastern plain.
Okay. In what ways can crop rotation be employed as a strategy to mitigate wheat blast impact?
See, this wheat blast is surviving also on crop residue, and sometimes if we grow wheat continuously over years, it can be a source of infection. So if we can make wheat replace with the non-host crop like this mustard or some pulses like lentil, uh, soybean, lettuce like that, which are growing in that region, or some spices like coriander or those. I think that would help to reduce the inoculum and help to reduce the disease outcome.
Okay. Are there any ongoing research initiatives focused on finding sustainable solutions to combat wheat blast disease?
Yes, that is a very good question, and I think the whole world is working together because this particular disease is really very devastating. It has a capability to reduce the wheat yield up to 50% on average over large area, or even up to on a smaller area, it can go up to 90% damage. So the sustainable practices, the best sustainable practices would be to grow the resistant type of wheat. Also to go for not to grow wheat in those environment where we expect that wheat blast may become a problem. We grow wheat in more wheat in drier areas like central zone or peninsula zone. Whatever measures like healthy seed production, if we can take up, that will also help. And this use of the bioagents like trichoderma and pseudomonas, all these, if we can give pro seed treatment or soil, this foliar spray, it can also reduce the chances of the wheat blast. Also, we should not have used the sprinkler irrigation at the time of year emergence. Otherwise, it will make the plant much wet for the infection. So if we can also look for the weather forecast, give it to the farmers so that they should not irrigate if rains are coming, so that to minimize the relative humidity in the field. Also, they should avoid growing susceptible wheat varieties over a large acreage of area. In between, they can create mosaics, almost all varieties, 4 or 5 varieties in a village. Some are resistant, some are tolerant, like that, and less susceptible one. So
Okay.
all these practices will help, I think, the farmers in a sustainable way.
Okay. Are there integrated pest management approaches recommended for addressing wheat blast in an holistic manner?
Yes, it is a great approach, and it is always advocated because this particular disease has 3 mode of dispersal, that is through seed, through air, and through crop residue. So we should minimize the chances of a spread of the disease by all 3 means. So we should have, first of all, resistant varieties, healthy seeds, seed treatment, use of the bioagents, use of the crop rotation, no use of the sprinkler at the time of yearhead production, yearhead initiation. Also go for the foliar sprays once you see there are infection occurring on the leaves or some earheads which are showing infection, based on the weather forecast or based on the particular reaction of that particular variety against the wheat blast, which is known nowadays, because we have already tested whatever wheat is grown in West Bengal against wheat blast. So we know which variety is resistant, which is susceptible.
Okay. I'll move on to the next question, sir. What role do international collaborations and information sharing play in managing and overcoming wheat blast globally?
Yeah, it's a very good question. Since it's a difficult disease, also it is much more difficult to work over it as far as India is concerned, because wheat is not occurring in India and we don't have any containment facility developed for this disease like in USA. So only option remaining to train our manpower, scientists, the extension workers, the technical officers, is to visit through collaborative training programs to attend those in Simit, Mexico, or in Bangladesh, in Bolivia, USA. In those countries, always we should encourage the youngsters to go there and look and have a feel of the disease. Also, screen, send the material for the screening in those countries, those hotspot locations, and our farmers should see those the performance of our material by their own eyes there and score, so that seeing is believing. Also, we should have good germplasm exchange, get not only high yielding but also blast resistant seed from through bilateral programs or through international the CGIR Institute program, and use it for strategic breeding program in India at different breeding locations, which are around 38 in India in different ICUs and institutes. Fast multiplication of the seed of resistant varieties and distributing through mini kits, have the field demonstration, go for farmers training to produce the healthy seeds at their own, with subsidized seed even those varieties. The extension activities should also invite the seed sellers, tell them that this is a seed of the variety which they should target in that area. They should be farmers fair and to show that material, and we can also use these social leaders, religious leaders like temples or mosques, to communicate that they should not bring the seed from Bangladesh or from any other country, because it is a risky affair. It can have the disease seed, and whatever measures we are taking in India is for their benefit, for their long-term benefit. Otherwise, they will suffer like anything, and they will not produce any wheat in those regions. Also, through our communication means, through digital media, we should always show the symptoms, whatever varieties are, options are there, whatever fungicides are there, they should be made available at the right time, at right place, at right cost to the farmers, so that at any emergency condition they can use it freely and save their crops. So these are some of the measures we should go on a wide scale, and everybody should be made aware that it is not something which is we should be afraid, but we should be of concern. Also, we should be very proactive, vigilant to meet the challenge, and the only way is to collaborate to manage this menace.
Thank you very much, sir. We have now completed the round of questions. On behalf of agricultureinformation.com, we like to thank Dr. Devendra Singh for the talk and for answering the questions. I'd like to also thank all the participants in the meeting. This meeting will now be closed.
Thank you very much.
You're most welcome, sir.